I'm walking here. Hey, hey, hey. What are you doing? Oh, hey, get a load of this guy.
One second. Underway. I have no ethics.
That is Bruce Gilden. He's a street photographer, and his thing is kind of just getting right in your face with a flash gun thing and just getting the worst photo of yourself that has ever been taken.
I'm not photographing them. When I'm photographing them, they look behind me.
He's a street photographer from New York. What?
This is like a war zone.
What do you mean not here? I'm taking a picture. I didn't know you owned the street. Not here, he's telling me.
I'm walking here! I'm walking here!
It looks like an attack when it happens. It looks like an ambush. Like, it's so rarely a photo of someone who looks like they're having a good time. Like, even just, I don't know, I think he's just looking for people that they've just been in an accident or something's just happened to them, and he's...
But don't forget, the other side is I'm doing the prostitutes on crack and heroin.
There's a lot of comments on this video about him, and they're kind of like, if you did this in my city, you get a bloody nose, you twat. Or I'd shove a camera up your ass. But he does do it in like lots of cities. Like you can see on his website, he's just done it all over the world. Like kidnapping. He's gotten really in the world's face, and he seems to just get away with it. So I don't think people really get as angry as they think. Invasive and harassing in safari outfit. Yeah, I think really the safari outfit is the main problem here. The only photos I could really find on his website where people seem to be having a good time are like commercial portraits of rich celebrities like LeBron and Scorsese. They seem to be having a grand old time in these photos. But yeah, for the most part, it's just candids of people who look like they've just had the worst day in their whole life.
There is someone that's not the average looking person. I mean, you know, they could have...
Like POV, you've just had the worst month of your entire life in the streets of New York, and you're simply just trying to get a bacon, egg and cheese the Ocky way. And then this guy's coming out the fucking woodwork at you. I mean, I kind of admire just the lack of like social anxiety on his part. Like, I don't think I could really do that. Like the ability to just go up to a random person on the street and shove a camera in their face with the flash on. But is it ethical to do this to people? That's probably a fair question. If it happened to me, like I'm trying to think if it happened to me, what I'd do. I don't think I'm really visually interesting enough for him to do it to me. I think I'd need to be in my undies with like sunglasses on or something, and then he'd finally go for me. But if it did happen to me, I don't know if I'd be that mad. I'd definitely be like shocked. I'd be very surprised and taken aback. I don't know if I'd feel like violated. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? Like, I'm gonna be on someone's Instagram, or I'm gonna be in like a $500 art book that like 10 people are gonna buy, or I'm gonna occupy some wall space at the MoMA or whatever. Like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like I'm really being like harmed, like brutally harmed or anything. But here I am putting up videos of myself on YouTube, so maybe I'm just not the sort of person whose life would be ruined by just a stray Gilden as they're just trying to enjoy a fucking Ocky. The difference between street photography and portrait photography does sort of seem to be like consent. Like with portraits, I think you're building a relationship with the person you're taking a photo of. You're like trying different things and seeing what they like, and you're getting their input on how they want to be photographed. But since street photography is all about the live moment, and Gilden talks about wanting to capture someone's stare when they're lost in thought. And they can only be lost in the thought if they don't know they're going to be photographed. So it sort of lends itself to that like ambush. And it's like, you know, too late. Like, I wonder if he's ever given someone a heart attack. Like if you're already a bit prone to shock and then he's just coming out of the woodwork with the flash gun, like, and there's people in this video and it looks like he's really done damage to them psychologically with what he's doing. It's definitely rude, and like the whole, even if it's not evil, it's very rude. And the whole business of like kind of the poorer someone looks, or I don't know, I feel like with photography often realism just means like poor people or like homeless people. So like there's these guys roaming around like on the prowl for an unfortunate looking individual, and then all the people seeing this like street photography, like fine art photography, are not the working class, I don't really think. I think most people who are interested in this are like middle class or really rich, because they're like funding the exhibition and they're funding like the $500 art books and stuff. So then when you think about it that way, and it's just like a bunch of, it's kind of like the Hunger Games, I get like a bunch of rich people sitting around going like, oh wow, that's really realistic. Like that's really how the world is right now. Just like some homeless guy trying to eat a sandwich. I don't know, it feels a bit gross at that point. Anyway, lots of people really hate this approach, and Gildan has some haters. Probably his most famous hater is Joel Meyerowitz, who's also a street photographer in New York. In an interview with The Guardian, which I'm gonna link below, he says about Gildan, he says, he's a fucking bully. I despise the work. I despise the attitude. He's an aggressive bully, and all the pictures look alike because he only has one idea. I'm gonna embarrass you. I'm gonna humiliate you. I'm sorry, but no. Yeah, that's more than just a criticism. He seems like genuinely really mad. Bit of street photographer beef, I reckon. Bit of street photographer stuff. Street photographers are fighting, like. Little bit of street photographer beef, I reckon. Like, oh. And then the interviewer wrote that Joel Meyerowitz got visibly angry while saying this. So yeah, it seems really deep-seated, the hatred. Okay, so according to his rival street photographer in New York, he's a bully because, well, is bully the right word? It might be too strong of a word, bullying. Can we get a definition of bullying? Wait, let's get a definition of bully. I actually want to like figure this out. Bully. A blustering, browbeating person, especially one who's habitually cruel, insulting, or threatening to others who are weaker, smaller, or in some way vulnerable. Yeah, I don't know if he's like actually threatening anyone. I don't know if I'm convinced by bully. Like I imagine he just kind of gets on with his day after getting the photo and he sort of leaves him alone. Maybe Meyerowitz knows something that we don't though, or maybe Gildan bullied Meyerowitz in high school. Maybe insulting, since he's kind of insulting them with the photo he's taking of them. Like it's never a flattering photo. It's always too close, too bright because of the flash. At some odd angle, they're like mid-meal or they have some weird expression. Like he makes a lot of people look like demons. There was one comment and it was like, 2 minutes 17, that's a demon. It's like, no dude, that's the style. That's his style doing that to this poor sap. Like none of these people would post these photos on the gram. Like that's a brutal Gildan, honestly. I think I actually have a couple Gildans in my camera roll and I just would never post them on the gram. Like that's not flattering images of me at all. And then the other part of the word bully is that it's directed at people who are smaller, weaker, or vulnerable. And that's kind of interesting to link back to like who he's taking photos of constantly. This is gonna sound so bad, but he often does take photos of people who look like they would be bullied based on their appearance. So maybe that's what Meyerowitz means. I don't know. Like Gildan is kind of always looking for people who look strange. People who look like if you were a kid and you didn't really know any better, you'd maybe just like point at him and be like, Mom, what's up with that guy? But since Gildan, you know, Gildan's a grown up. I think he's like 79 now. Maybe he should leave these people alone instead of ambushing them on the streets of New York. And then the second part of his critique of Gildan is that all his photos look the same. And here I have to sort of play devil's advocate. I have to play devil's advocate because even though he's doing the same thing over and over, like with all the candids, because like the kind of focus of all the shots are people's faces, and that's probably the most unique thing you could photograph is like a person's face. It does kind of make a big cool like typology of all these different sorts of faces, and like a lot of them are very memorable in distinction to each other. So I wouldn't say that it's like repetitive and boring in that way. Like even though he's doing the same thing over and over again, all his photos like feel really different. So that's kind of cool. I like this comment. Yeah, he basically shocks and confuses people, and then the result is a confused person with a bright flash. Okay. I think this guy's team Meyerowitz. I kind of want to know what sort of photos Meyerowitz takes now. Oh, okay. So you can see it sort of immediately. He's at like a respectful distance in the street photos. He's not really ruining anyone's day. I think that's what you're sort of meant to do as a street photographer. Blend in and don't really interrupt the scene that you're capturing. And then he does like beach shots and stuff. Okay, fair play, mate. God, the colors look so good in some of these. Meyerowitz is really not alone in his hatred of Gildan though. Like there's so many brutal comments on the original video, which is 18 years old now, but there's just still so many people coming in to bash his style and talk about how, around my neighborhood, you get fucking bashed. I'd punch him in the fucking face if he took a picture of me like that. He has become what he sought to photograph. I'm on acid. I'm on acid, yo. The grandma.
How beautiful it would be if he got stabbed in the neck and then a picture taken of him with his own camera.
Try that on me and that camera will pop out his ass through his mouth. I love this comment. This type of photography is lame. Literally wasting film on random people. Like, is it only worth spending on like the Notre Dame? All the midwits saying in the comments they're fucking appalled by his behavior. Lol, grow a pair of balls, you weakling. I'm sorry, but seeing sexy girls and curves on Instagram drives me into this kind of approach.
I would just beat the fucking lights out of him, mate, if he ever approached me like this.
There are some rude people in here who know nothing about photography and are insulting a Magnum photographer and his work. In Deutschland wäre dies nicht erlaubt. These guys are talking about how they're gonna like beat him up and kill him and stuff, and it's like, that's actually a bit worse, I reckon. I think that's actually a bit worse than grabbing a photo of a grandma, is killing the grandma. Or killing Bruce, or killing anyone really, killing Bruce Gildan even. I think even that is a bit bad. It's just my opinion, but like it definitely, I wouldn't do it. Like it feels wrong to get all up in someone's private space and snap a photo of their nose, but I don't know if it's like harming them. I don't know, I'm almost leaning towards like, if someone has that little social anxiety and they can do that, maybe like let them do their thing, especially if like the results are interesting. As long as he doesn't give any old ladies a heart attack. I don't know if that's already happened. If it has happened, that would be a huge controversy if it did happen. So I'm guessing nothing like that has really happened. Also, there are actually photographs of Gildan's where it seems like the subjects of the photo are kind of into it and they're playing it up. And they don't mind him getting up in their space. So in that case, kind of everyone wins anyway. But the trouble is knowing who would want to have their photo taken at such a close distance randomly on the street and who wouldn't. And you can't know in advance because you're not even declaring that you're going to take a photo of them or asking them. So I asked my parents what they think of Gildan's style, and my dad said that no one should do that because it's harassment. And then my mum said it's a breach of Australian privacy laws to do that. So I guess I won't be heading out into the streets of Melbourne with the flash gun. All right, yep, subscribe and all that, yep, subscribe and stuff.